ahead and do a live since I'm walking home from the smoke shop. I was able to get somebody to give me a little bit of money to get me some cigars. Actually, it was a family member. So the reason I'm doing this live is because I got a long walk ahead of me. I walk with a cane, for those that didn't know. And I just thought I would ramble a little bit because I'm probably going to be late getting videos this week because I have had a hell of a stressful week. Just too much to dump out there right now. But I've been dealing with a lot of shit. Anyways, I just thought I'd do a little bit of a live stream and just talk about some random stuff that's been on my mind. So I'll start with, and I'll talk louder because I am next to a busy highway, unfortunately. Hopefully people can hear me. Anyways, the first thing that's been on my mind, and I'm going to talk about it, is Beetlejuice. Because I plan on seeing this movie on my birthday, because it comes out the same week as my birthday. I'll be turning a little too old to say on the YouTube. Well, I've said it elsewhere, but anyways, I'm not that young. And so I got a couple of things I want to say about the movie. I'm excited for it. It looks interesting. I like Jenna Ortega. Obviously, I like Winona Ryder, Catherine Taylor, all coming back. You know, the scumbag isn't because, you know, reasons. Michael Keaton's coming back. But I have an issue that I haven't heard anybody address yet. Good morning. And so my concern is, in the original Beetlejuice movie, the afterlife bureaucrats basically told the Maitlands, Alec Baldwin and Geena Davis characters, that they were required to haunt that house for 125 years. Well, it has not been 125 years since 1988, so I hope Tim Burton addresses why they're not in the film, because that's a major lore. Thank you for that. I just think that's a major lore issue that needs to be addressed, otherwise the movie's going to fall apart. I know from the trailers we can assume that they killed off Jeffrey Jones's character for good reason, because they don't want to bring him back because he's a fucking pedophile and he's rotting in prison where he belongs. So fuck that scumwad. But if they couldn't bring back Geena Davis and Alec Baldwin, they're gonna have to address it, because, like I said, the lore suggests that they have to haunt that house for 125 years. So that tells me either this movie cannot or should not take place in that house, but from what we've seen in the trailers, it probably does or will. No, it wasn't a curse. It was their bureaucratic obligation. They were assigned to haunt that house for 125 years. So maybe they'll address that. Maybe they'll have some kind of explanation, I hope. Otherwise, you know, that'll just be a minor nitpick. It's not going to be something that if the movie's fun, that's not going to make me enjoy it less. It's just going to be a minor gripe. So that is just the one minor thing that I have on my mind in regards to Beetlejuice. I'm also kind of curious how Jenna Ortega's character is going to discover the ghost with the most, because he's kind of a pervert in the original movies. And so I don't know if they're going to tone that down for modern audiences, or if we're going to get, you know, some 1980s level of scumwatery. We'll see. The other big thing that's been on my mind lately is this whole Wizards of the Coast situation. I've already done a couple of videos on it, but I know allegedly they're still going to publish books. But from what I've been reading, they're going to be publishing them more sporadically than we're used to, and in smaller print runs than we're used to. They have ended their partnership with their 50-year partnership with Random House, which has me worried. And a lot of bookstores and hobby shops aren't going to have access to the new books, which is going to limit the audience. That doesn't concern me too much, because there's always ways to get, if you got to pay a little extra, you pay a little extra. You go to eBay, Amazon, whatever. If you really want the books, you'll get them. What concerns me is Wizards of the Coast executives coming out and saying repeatedly that they're all in on digital. I don't like that. I don't like that for a lot of reasons. And I've heard people say, very incorrectly, I've heard people say, even when you meet in a group with real people, they still use the virtual tabletop and digital tools. That's a load of fucking horse shit. I've been playing Dungeons & Dragons since I was 12 years old. I have never sat in a group where they use digital tools, where everybody used digital tools. Maybe one player sitting at the table would be using a dice app. Maybe one player at the table would be using a spell list app. But every game I've ever sat at in person, you got a board, you got miniatures, you got your books, you got your character sheet, you got your dice, you got your pencils. I've never, ever sat at a board in person where it was all virtual tabletop. And I never will. And I've played as recently as a few months ago, and I played with a bunch of kids, like 17, 18-year-old kids, and they were playing with books and paper and pencils and dice. So anyone that says, oh, people play virtually in person anyways, you're full of shit. If your group does that, fine. I have played with dozens of groups over the years. Never once have I played with a group in person that used all digital tools. And I never will. If I ever get invited to a group and everybody pulls out their laptops, I'm walking out of that group, I ain't going back. That group ain't for me. I know some of that probably makes me sound like a grognard. I'm not anti-digital. I'm just anti-digital Dungeons & Dragons. And the reason for that is if I want to play digital D&D, I've got the fucking video game, Baldur's Gate. Or if that's not good enough, Diablo. Or fucking whatever. There's so many other, there's Neverwinter Nights. That's a different experience. A digital Dungeons & Dragons experience is different than sitting at a table with people with paper and pencil and dice. It's a different experience. That's not an experience I want to have. That if that's the direction the company's going, they lost me as a customer, and they will not get me back. I will never pay money for a PDF. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I will never pay money for a PDF. If you are too stupid to offer your book print on demand, because print on demand options are free and you can get them anywhere, if you cannot do that because you're a fucking idiot, you don't want my money. Because if I can't buy your book, I'm not going to give you money for a PDF. I will never do that, and I will never apologize for that. If you're okay with that, fine. I will not do that. And I don't care if anyone gets mad at me over that. You don't have any right to tell me how to spend my money. Period. As a consumer, I do have a right to tell you as a product maker. I have a right to tell you, I'm not happy with your product. I will not buy it if it exists in a form I'm not willing to spend money on. It's the same reason why I'm not buying Transformers right now, because Hasbro hasn't made a new Transformer since 2018. They've literally just been repainting and repackaging the same goddamn toys year after year, and I'm not paying $40 for another Grimlock. I already have that same fucking Grimlock. I'm not buying it again. Hasbro needs to get their shit together. They wonder why people aren't buying their products. Maybe it's because their Magic the Gathering cards are fucking shit quality right now. Maybe it's because they want me to spend money on a fucking digital tabletop to play Dungeons and Dragons. They can eat shit. Or they want to just keep repainting toys I already own. Well, they can eat shit. So if that's the direction Hasbro is going, Hasbro has lost me as a consumer. And I know traditionally the toy market has been a kids market, but we know the industry, Mattel, Lego, Hasbro, insiders have been repeatedly saying research suggests that kids aren't buying toys anymore. It's us adult collectors that are keeping the market alive. If they're gonna piss us off, they have no customers left because kids are playing fucking Roblox. They're not playing, they're not buying Transformers. So if Hasbro wants to sell Transformers to me, they better start making fucking new toys again. Because I'm not buying another repaint of a toy I already fucking own. I'm willing to do that. You know, I'm willing to rebuy Starscream when they repaint him as Thundercracker. I'm not willing to rebuy Grimlock because they gave him battle damage. Jesus Christ, I can take a marker and give him battle damage myself. Now, I'm not 100% going back to the digital for a second. I am not 100% against digital if it's an option, like comic books. I do subscribe to digital comic services, or have in the past. I'm currently not, but I have a pretty sizable digital Marvel and DC library I can revisit anytime I want. But they're still making physical books an option. If you want to make a digital product for those who want digital, fine, do it, go for you. But you had better also make a physical product for those that want that as well. If you're going to make a new Star Wars movie, Disney, and you're going to put it on Disney Plus, but not sell it on DVD or Blu-ray, well, you made a movie I'm not going to consume. End of story. And I know, again, I know part of that makes me sound old, because I am, but a lot of it is also, I'm not paying money for a temporary license that could be revoked at any point in time. I lost my entire Vudu library when Vudu did their bullshit, and now I can't access movies that I legally paid for. I have movies sitting in my Amazon library that I can no longer access because they've been delisted. So no, I will never support digital only. Digital to me is a convenience option. If there's not a physical option in addition to the digital option, then that product is not for me, period. Now, fortunately for me, Hasbro's already made every Transformer I want. So, you know, I have no problem buying used Transformers and not giving Hasbro any more money. If they're not going to make new toys for me, fine. Then I'm not their customer base anymore. Same thing happened with Nintendo. The day Nintendo made Labo was the day they lost me as a customer, and they will never get me back. I will never give money to a company that sells a cardboard box for $70. Eat shit, motherfuckers. That wouldn't have pissed me off so much if they weren't so anti-consumer with their, you know, their anti-fan games and attacking YouTubers and all their other bullshit. If they weren't just like the greediest fucking company out there, I could have forgiven Labo. I could have been said, oh yeah, sure, I guess. If some idiot wants to pay $70 for a cardboard box, let them. But the fact that Nintendo also, on top of that, does anti-consumer bullshit is why they lost me as a customer, and I will never, ever give money to Nintendo again. That doesn't mean I'm not playing Nintendo games. I'm not telling you which games I'm playing or how I'm getting them, but I'll play any fucking Nintendo game I want. I just will do it without giving Nintendo money. And that's a hard line I'm never going to cross again. Unless Nintendo refunds my fucking purchase price of the Wii U, I paid $450 for a goddamn piece of plastic that did nothing for 6 years. They're not winning me back as a customer. If Nintendo had made the Wii U in 2006 when they were supposed to, and it would have been on par with the PS3 and the 360, and it would have got all the games everybody else got, that's a different story. But when you're trying to sell me 2005 technology in 2013 full price, go to hell, Nintendo. Go to fucking hell. And I'm never going to pay full price to play a PS1 game on my Nintendo Switch. Fucking Nintendo. They just piss me right the fuck off. I'm not saying they should go third party. I'm just saying, get with the goddamn times. The GameCube had console parity with everybody else. It got most of the third party support everybody else did. The big problem with the GameCube is it didn't play DVDs and it didn't have a functional online infrastructure. So that cost it some games, but for the most part, it got all the games everybody else did, at least the big titles. You can't say that about the Wii or Wii U or Switch. And I don't care what anyone says, getting Skyrim on your Switch is not third-party support. Fucking my toaster can play Skyrim, goddammit. And people are like, but it plays indie games. Again, I don't give a fuck. I can get indie games on my phone. I'm not paying full price for a game I can get on my phone for 99 cents. I have a lot of issues with Nintendo lately. And go back and watch my videos. I was a diehard Nintendo loyalist for most of my life. If a company basically abuses their customers long enough, eventually they lose those loyal customers. That's all I got to say about that. Well, I'm home now, so this is where I end the stream. Thanks for watching. Stay cool.